company. So Max Scigliano, if you're listening, you're on Facebook, we're friends. He was really a personal savior to me. I was going through a lot of personal stuff.
Good.
We became good friends. He was my manager. I ended up becoming the lead trainer for Canada, and I worked under his tutelage for a number of years. And he, in a really nice, kind, loving way, helped me. He didn't even know it. And Max, we've talked about this since. You didn't know it at the time, but really helped emotionally pull me out of what I was in through his support. One of the reasons why I wanted to do what I was doing too at the time, I had a couple of bosses that I was working for at that time back in London that I just could not work for anymore. It was not a fit for me in many regards. And I looked at the training opportunity as a way not just to travel, but to develop some skills that I would own for my life so I wouldn't have to rely on bosses I didn't like.
And while you travel, you always run into so many different experiences with so many different people.
Very true.
You know, because I traveled for 8 years. After getting out of the automotive business, I traveled extensively to 41 states, 8 provinces, hundreds of cities, hundreds of little towns.
Yep.
You know, to the extent where it was super elite status with Air Canada for 7 straight years. You know,
I was there,
and as you know, that's 100,000 miles or 100 flight segments. That was a lot of airplanes.
Yes, it is.
Right. So, but what that taught me too, because it was after that, after returning from that work to the automotive retail space, where that's when I wrote the book, because I'm like, things haven't changed in automotive that much.
Right.
You know, the technology's better on the cars, the buildings are more ultra modern, but the sales process still was just lacking.
Yes.
You know, and I just thought, well, with 20 plus years under my belt, why don't I just share my perspective?
Yeah.
And because one of the things I learned about while traveling, and I'm sure you did this too, you know, while you were, you know, training across and meeting all these people and, you know, getting all these new experiences, was I always left every client that I sold an ad to, whether it be in New Mexico or Virginia or Medicine Hat, Alberta or somewhere like that. I always left and I asked myself, why? You know, because selling advertising, they may see you once and never again.
Yep.
You know, and I always left asking, why did they buy? Why did they spend so much money? And there's always a fundamental reason where it's you. It comes down to the salesperson, comes down to, you know, the experience and so on. So I can relate to what you're saying and how people along the way changes your perspective. Yeah,
my next big mentor after that was Joe Girard. So Guinness Book of World Record salesperson in the car business that got a hold of me in 2007. And I did seminar with him. I'm good friends with his son and his wife. And when you're around with somebody with that caliber of a record and understanding how they think and how they operate, it's a whole other entirely new blueprint, maybe what you should be doing. So yeah, that would be my second biggest mentor.
And that actually, you beat me to the punch there, because I was going to ask you about that. You know, to share with the audience your proudest moment, career moment, and why. And I think that might be one of them.
Oh, it's probably the one.
Yeah, because of the Hall of Fame appearance or something like that.
Yeah. So for those of you that are listening, I mean, if you're a golfer, you know, if you're a pro playing for some golf club, wherever you're playing, that was the equivalent of like Tiger Woods calling you up out of the blue.
Out of the blue.
And saying, I want to play around with you at Pebble Beach in front of cameras. And why are you calling me? And that was the call I got.
Yeah.
So there was some stuff I had to go through with him and make sure that, you know, we got along and everything was fine. But when you're on stage in the Detroit Automotive Hall of Fame, where all the top people in the car business get inaugurated, and Joe wanted to do a speech, it's big, there for his inauguration. He invited me to do it with him, so I did about an hour and a half. He did an hour and a half. His son got up and spoke.
That's
his wife
huge
was there.
stage time.
And my family was there. My father, my mother, my children, my wife, everybody was there, my sister. So I can't think, I mean, just look at the people when I look out in that group in my own mind and who was there and I don't know how I would ever, quite frankly, top that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
On a personal and professional level.
And the one thing I found out recently, because I had a little bit of an encounter with Tom Hopkins as well, you know, not as big a scale or anything like that, but the fact that these people who are ultra successful do try to help others and to, you know, lift others up. Because I attended, after he was on my show a couple of times, I attended one of his training in Dallas, and I was shocked when the first person in front of hundreds of people he introduced to the crowd was me and my book and my show.
Wow.
Yeah, I was.
Wow.
Yeah, and to the point where at the first break, everybody was rushing over to me. What show is he talking about?
That's a nice boost. That's a nice little bit of marketing.
I know.
Yeah, a little endorsement. That's awesome.
So it was great.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
And now we have a little bit of a. We're working together a little bit, and you know he's going to be appearing on the show again on the 7th, December 7th. But there are great people out there who want to see others successful, just like you. You know, who helped you along the way through those personal times through your career, as am I. And you know, we welcome, and obviously we always say why. You know, why me?
Yeah.
But then when you look back, why not? Why not you? Why the hell not you?